More of the misadventures in Stalingrad, formerly known as Colorado. Yeah, what do we have? We have the Tamale Act or the Cottage Bill. This fucking state, I tell you what. You know what? They might as well just come out and say, we hate Americans and we love illegals. Just say it. Just fucking say it, dude. Anyway, the Tamale Act. So the cosplay meth head Squidward looking governor, Jared Polis, comes out with his frumpy dumpy looking sloppy ass in front of a podium with members of the Colorado legislature at the state house, including Republicans, by the way. I think a Republican came up with this retarded bill. Whatever. Or maybe it's been sitting in the house for a while and not been moved, but here is the perfect time to use it. Why, you might ask? Oh, I'm going to tell you why. So House Bill 26-1033 is called Expanding the Colorado Cottage Foods Act. Okay. Or as they called it the Tamale Act. Why did y'all do that? That's racist, remember?
Hey,
Remember,
Charles.
you're culturally appropriating a House bill, Colorado? That's what you're doing? That's racist. Anyway, they say this is going to expands the Colorado Cottage Foods Act by allowing for the sale of homemade foods that require refrigeration and foods that include blah, blah, blah. It would make more homemade food to be legally sold. Okay, yeah, whatever. What you're doing, and you can't pull that okey doke on me. It might work on other people, but it doesn't work on me. I know what you're doing. ICE and DHS are surging into Denver. They've already been here, and these illegals have been getting picked up in suburbs of Denver like Lakewood and Wheat Ridge and Broomfield and across the Front Range. So what do these crank-bar leftist libtards do?
They're trying to protect the illegals there.
Oh, they dust off this bill called the Cottage Bill, so that illegals can just start making their food in the taxpayer-funded house or apartment they're living in. And they won't be picked up by ICE because they can stay at home and cook their tamales and then send somebody else out to sell them. Y'all motherfuckers. I swear, just put on a freaking shirt that says, I hate Blacks and I hate American citizens. I hate white people. I hate everybody who's not an illegal alien unlawfully present in the U.S. That's all this Tamale Act is an excuse for illegals to avoid ICE capture, but not being blatant about it. You people are so... I'm tagging DHS in this because now, we'll need to go ahead and go in your homes. Although the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnston, the little skinny pants looking freak, has written an executive order saying that ICE and federal officers can't go into public places. Fuck you, dude. Have you ever heard of the Supremacy Clause? You cannot with your stinky little Colorado. It's Colorado, little EO. Nobody gives a shite about your little Colorado EO ass. We all know you love illegals and you hate Americans. We get it. Okay? But you're not going to hide in the shadows with your stupid little attempts to try to evade ICE and evade capturing these illegal aliens who have been here, who have been stealing our money and stealing housing, stealing medical care, and stealing everything else. We're sick of them, and we are definitely sick of you. You better vote accordingly in the upcoming election. Cross the Front Range, caucuses are coming up. Make sure you attend, get involved, and start melting the phone lines of these nasty.
It's big primaries in Texas today. When anyone comes on from Texas, let me know how it's going. I don't know what time that closes there, the whole polling.
Ass politicians who think that they should have your vote.
Paxton, hopefully he'll win, and also it looks we're hoping to take down that. Well, I don't know. Either one of them's pretty bad for Jasmine and all that.
In November, they're not worth it. Tamale Act. God.
I don't know. What a piece of work they are, I tell you. All right, let's grab the next one.
We get a lot of shit as Californians for the insane politics here, and rightly so. But right now, over 1.25 million Californians have signed and gotten the voter ID ballot initiative qualified to go to a people's vote this November, while 5 Senate Republicans are blocking the passing of the Save America Act at the federal level. This is an 85-15 issue at worst. Senate President John Thune of South Dakota needs to bring the Save America Act in a talking filibuster to get this shit passed. And the 4 Senate Republicans from Utah, new guy John Curtis, oh my God, what were you guys thinking electing him? And Murkowski out of Alaska, and McConnell from Kentucky, and then Tom Tillis out of North Carolina.
McConnell doesn't even have his brain.
Guys, your excuses are BS. Whatever it takes, get it done and pass it.
He's not all there. I swear. I don't even know why they still have him in there. It hasn't been replaced 10 times over by now. Oh, I was going to grab this one here.
You see my face? I'm probably going to stutter through this post because I'm very agitated right now. You mean to tell me, the Democrats are the most unhappy, depressed, mentally deranged people you will ever meet? You mean to tell me you guys can't even stand up for the victims of families who were killed? No respect, huh? And then Ilhan Omar. You guys, this is why I always say immigrants should not be allowed to run for office. You need to be a foundational American, fucking period. She does not have our best.
Big primary in Texas. Anyone know how it's going?
Interest. Ilhan, we fucking hate you. And if those of you guys don't like curse words, you better scroll on.
Or even when the closing time is.
Because today I'm about to let it loose. I have a feeling. Ilhan, we despise your ass. You're the only motherfucker in there looking like sweaty and funky as hell. Y'all should have dragged that bitch by that shitty ass sheet she had on. From the bottom, yank that motherfucker off. That's how much I hate you. You have the audacity. Who are you? The heckler of 2026? You're trying to heckle my president who's doing a phenomenal job? Talking about he kills Americans? Your fake ass fucking propaganda and your fucking lies. What do Somalians do, bitch? You're jealous because we have a civilized country, you uncouthly dirty hoe? Ugh! You dirty bitch! Now you got politicians over here grabbing her by her hands, feeling sorry. Why did you grab her by her hands and drag her ass to the nearest fucking boat and ship her ass back to the dumpster trash, Somalia, where she fucking belongs? You and your fucking hijab. How about you and your hijab get a new fucking job? Why don't you become the new trash picker-upper of Somalia? And take Mom Donnie with your ass. What you mad is we don't have to barter anorexic cows for cardboard that you build your houses with. Huh? Because you need the cardboard. Because you need the fucking fuck her. I swear, y'all. I'm sorry. Fuck that bitch.
Marianne, I think you only get away with wearing that when you're that young,
That bitch be fucking, they make sandcastles. That's their homes. Fuck them in that dirty ass country, bitch. Fuck you. Oh, you have the audacity to try to dictate the fucking State of the Union and try to heckle my fucking president, bitch. Shut your uncouthly dirty ass up. Bitch, your whole country is a fucking dumpster. You guys all live in it. You all live in a fucking dumpster. You try to come in my country and try to tell us what the fuck we're gonna do? Get this sweaty bitch up out of here.
Let me finish this message here. Catherine, yeah, I did hear about that. Benny Johnson's wife had a miscarriage today. They've been their 5th baby. fifth daughter or son. I don't know. I don't know which it was, son or daughter, but yeah. So I was sorry to hear that too. So, anyways.
To those who keep getting online and insulting us in California, understand we actually believe that California is red already. But what y'all are not getting is we live under the most corrupt state in the U.S. Understand, California holds Los Angeles.
Minnesota might be right up there.
Finished. California turned blue immediately. It didn't take any time to count. It just turned blue. And we knew immediately they did it again. So for the people who are outside of California and constantly commenting on California, you guys need to stop being stupid, stop voting blue. We're not voting blue. We live in the area that you all worship. When you love your Beyoncés and you love all your music industries and you love Hollywood and you love all that kind of stuff, and Kamala is part of San Francisco, and like, you guys have to understand, all those people are here in California. It's 10 times as hard to get California to turn blue because we live under all of the witches and the warlocks and the demons. They're not going to allow California to turn red as easy as other places. So instead of insulting us, pray for us. Lift California up. Pray to God and say, hey, help them there.
They need a lot
of help.
Y'all
get on here, y'all call us dumb, and hey, California, you guys just keep voting for the same thing over and over. No, we are not.
Voter ID.
I live here in California. I'm in the Bay Area. I know for a fact we are not voting blue. Yeah, there's some people who are, but the majority of us are red. But no matter what we do, we literally just voted on a bunch of different stuff, and they just walk up and say, nah, we're not going to do
it. Well, Kentucky has been conservative, but I think they're drifting a little.
It doesn't fit our agenda, so we're just not going to do it. And nobody stops them. There's nothing to stop them from doing it.
I think there was almost 1 million dead people on the voter rolls in California, something like that. A real ridiculously high number. And they got them off, and they got put right back on.
California is being held captive. If you want to know the true situation, California is being held captive.
That's what you say, M?
Pray for us. Don't get on here and insult us. Pray for us. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, God bless. Danny Willis exposed for collusion, 8,000 pages revealing about this lawsuit. Here we go.
Mr. President, we now have confirmation for what we always thought was true, and that is that District Attorney Fani Willis coordinated with the White House,
I call her Fanny,
the Department of Justice, and the Jan 6 committee in her attempt to commit lawfare against President Trump. After fighting open records requests like her office often does, she finally just yesterday released 8,000 documents to Just the News that reveal close collaboration and coordination with the Biden White House, his Justice Department, and the January 6th Commission. See, we already...
Oh, they're trying to move other people in there.
Thought this was true because on November 9th of 2022, President Biden put up the bat signal. He stated that we just have to demonstrate that he, President Trump, will not take power. Well, 6 days later, President Trump announced he was running for re-election. The very next day, one day after President Trump announced, Nathan Wade had an 8-hour meeting with the January 6th Commission. Now, of course, much like all of his prosecution, when he's questioned under oath, Wade can't remember anything, who he met with, what they talked about, where they met. He's got tremendous amnesia, Mr. Wade does. But 2 days after that meeting with January 6th,
I got some clips from the testimony of Hillary and Bill Clinton.
On November 18th, which is 3 days after President Trump declared he was running for office, Wade had another 8-hour.
Yeah, Mitch is not helping us at all either. Someone else is doing the voting for him. The staff, I'm sure, and I'm not sure his staff is necessarily totally conservative.
Briefing. This one
TDS.
with the White House. Why is November 18th significant? That is the day that Jack Smith was appointed special counsel. That was the same day that Matthew Colangelo resigned from the Department of Justice and left to lead the prosecution against President Trump with Alvin Bragg in New York. And it's the same day that Nathan Wade was on the phone with the White House for 8 hours. We now know what we suspected, that the White House waived the...
Yeah, I'm stuck here in New York. I'm in upstate New York, which is a kind of conservative area, but we lose because of downstate. You know, they just outvote us. They kind of hold the vote back until later at night, see how many votes they need.
The executive privilege for President Trump that has traditionally always been held. We knew they waived it for Congress, but we now know, due to the documents released yesterday, that it was waived for Fani Willis as well. During this process, Mr. President, you're not going to believe this, but the White House contacted Fani Willis and asked her to submit for a competitive $2 million bid. Well, that bid then turned into a no-bid contract grant with Fani Willis, and she was granted $2 million in the midst of her prosecution of President Trump. Mr. President, the fix was in. This was lawfare. This was a coordinated effort between DA Willis, the White House, and the Jan 6 Commission to do what President Biden said, and that is to demonstrate that he will not take power. The Senate has done great work in uncovering this. I'm glad that we finally have the documents to prove what we have always thought was the case. And Mr. President, sometimes the truth takes a minute to come out, but the truth is now out.
Yep. Okay. So about a sexual predator being able to be elected. Watch this.
Red Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do want to clear up some things that were said that I'm trying to use grace because it's late and we're all tired. Low risk sex offender. I'm just wondering how we tell a child that was raped, sorry, we can't prosecute a low risk sex offender because they only raped 3 children. I want to remind you that U.S. women's gymnastics coach Larry Nassar is considered a low risk sex offender, and he sexually assaulted hundreds of young athletes. So it'd be nice to know what that means, especially when we have children that are being raped. Sorry, this is a high-risk sex offender and you only got raped by a low-risk sex offender. I think that's such a disservice to the children that are being raped. Rep. English and I stakeholdered this. I think the people in the committee understand that. The public defenders had a lot to say tonight, but they did not come to the table once about this bill to amend it, to talk through it, to make changes to it. Nothing. Zero. But definitely have a lot to say about it without any statistics to back it up. I find it offensive that one of the attorneys talked about an autistic child, but failed to tell you that he represented a youth pastor that raped a child that got off on probation and a coach that raped a child that got off on probation. So it's interesting how we play criminals to our favor, but there's youth pastors and coaches that are raping children to get probation. Just looking through my notes, I took a lot of notes, and I just, to say that there are people that are raping multiple children and getting probation, and to say that that's not true is false. To say that these people are spending lifetime sentencing, I pass this out to all of you, 26 years of research, minimum sentence 2 years, 363 offenders, 0.9 years in prison. I'll go up to all 25-year minimum sentence, 3 offenders. Shortest is 16 years. The longest was 17 years. So to sit here and say these people are spending lifetime amount of sentencing in jail is simply not true. This is 26 years of research. I can go down 2-year minimum sentence, 3-year, 4. I can go through all of it if you want for the 1,300.
Tammy, not just throw her in jail, get her money back.
Sex offenders. I got all night at this point. I can go through all of it. So to sit here and say these people are receiving lifetime sentences is simply not true. But you know who's getting lifetime sentences? The children that are getting raped. They're getting lifetime sentences of post-traumatic stress and depression and suicidal ideation and substance abuse for just being innocent, for just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. they receive the lifetime sentence. So let's be very clear when we're talking about
Marianne.
who receives the lifetime sentence, because it's the children
Tammy's here.
that are raped. And then I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the rest of the facts, and then I'll end it, because I'm just very frustrated that people can sit up here and bring mistruths about a bill and about what's happening in our state. These are the facts. 70% of people who commit sexual assault against our children go straight to probation. 70%. Those are the facts. Those are the hard facts.
7 out of 10 just get probation for sexually assaulting kids. Unbelievable. That's after they're convicted.
70% get probation. To earn your way in prison for raping children in Colorado, you either have to repeatedly, an average of 3 different times, repeatedly violate your opportunity in the community by violating conditions meant to keep our children safe, safely in the community, or you're one of two. You are either the 70% that get probation, or you're one of the 30% where the facts that are so damning that the court sent you to prison. No one has spent more than 25 years in prison for sexually assaulting a child since we enacted the current sentencing structure. We have 26 years from when this started. And yet 73% have been paroled. The overwhelming majority, 73% have gotten paroled. And in an average of 8 years, and the 27% that are still there, some of those are there on those crimes, sure, but also on other crimes, because the courts gave them 300 years because their crimes were so egregious, or they murdered their victims, or committed other crimes of violence.
Mark!
And that is why
long time no see.
Eligible. So if we're going to sit here and compare apples to oranges, then call that out, because we're comparing apples to apples. And we're doing a disservice to the victims of these crimes to compare apples to oranges. I can knock on the doors of 100 of your constituents in any district in the state, and they would be shocked. I have asked people in my town halls, do you know that you can rape a child in our state, sexually assault a child, and get probation, and they are not in our state? There is no way. Do you know that you can rape one child, a second child, a third child one time, and receive probation? And those are the facts that are happening in the state. And to say otherwise that that's happening is absolutely false, and it's a disservice to the victims that testified tonight. Absolutely flabbergasted that you can get probation for sexual assault of a child in the first place, that you might not spend a day in jail. Remember the outrage in California over the Stanford swimmer? Every one of those 100 doors would not only be knocked that most get probation for these crimes, they would support prison for these crimes. And I share to say, if a ballot initiative comes forward, overwhelmingly the people of Colorado will vote for this. And not a one would be alarmed at how long any of these offenders have spent in prison if they knew the facts of those cases. Not one. It's unconscionable that we do not do better, that we are not on the side with protecting children. Low-risk sex offender, there's no such thing. When 90% of children don't report, when arrest and conviction rates are low, and when the studies follow them,
it's bad not to be a rapist, but to rape little kids, that's even worse.
For 3 to 5 years and only count arrests or convictions, of course they don't get through the funnel twice. Why do we accept any risk when we're talking about raping a child? Does it take me bringing 4-year-olds to fill this room for us to listen to what is happening to these children? To finally put victims' rights over the lifelong sentence of criminals, which we know by the research is not happening. Stop sentencing the kids of Colorado to a lifelong sentence. I urge a yes vote.
At least 20 years minimum. Totally. It's about Omar.
Sorry, you're attacking my friend. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're attacking my friend instead of just me. Okay.
If you investigate the fraud, why don't you go to other people?
We're going everywhere. We're going everywhere.
This is some Somalia stuff.
100%. No, you are profiling Somalis and you're going
That's not true.
There's no way.
There's 34 home healthcare services in this building. Of course, we're going to be in a building with 34 home healthcare services.
Why don't we see one video of you guys going to a white business?
Well, or going to most of the home healthcare right
or going
here.
to another business. Why are you going on Somalis? Tell me.
We have not been profiling. There's 34 here. We've not
They're in Minnesota where they're stealing the money. That's why.
knocked on the door of every 34 businesses
I don't
here.
know who is owned here. We just knocked
You're
on the door,
profiling.
asked a
You're
couple
attacking her
questions.
for being
One
an
nice
illegal.
lady actually went through all the services and things
She
like that.
She went to daycare
So-
the other day. She was trying to go forcefully into a daycare. You know the rules of daycare.
We're trying to expose
You cannot
fraud.
go to a daycare.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
I'd lose it with them. I'm sorry. Oh, that's a full launch one. All right. This is it came out and they even said that even Bill Clinton admitted that Trump had nothing to do with Epstein Island stuff. Here we go.
President Clinton said, that's for you to decide. And the president went on to say that the president, Trump, has never said anything to me to make me think he was involved. And he meant with Epstein. So I know there's a lot of curiosity about President Trump. I thought that was an interesting thing that President Clinton said. So I'll let the Democrats have the podium and they can answer your questions. But we'll come.
Yep. All right. Here's new findings in California. Doge, nearly $1 billion in missing money.
I'm here with Jenny Ray LaRue, director of CalTOJ, who has uncovered yet another absolute scandal of fraud and theft in California, our money being stolen in our second fraud report. Jenny Ray.
Thank you, Steve. Hello, I'm Jenny Ray LaRue, the director of CalTOJ, and I'm here today to release our second set of findings, one of the many investigations that are occurring now all over the state of California, file 0002 on SOMA, GRID, and CEJA. Today, we are releasing a file on the California SOMA program and specifically on its partner organizations that are double dipping on public funds to provide solar power on apartment buildings, but actually are building a left-wing activist machine in economically disadvantaged neighborhoods across the state. SOMA, which stands for Solar on Multifamily Affordable Housing, has been funded by up to $100 million per year since 2015 from cap and trade auction proceeds. The total commitment to the program from the state alone, if you do the math, which they did and so did we, that's right, it's $1 billion. But on the latest report, they stated that they have completed 269 projects only for a total of $72 million. Where did the rest of the money go? Let's dive in. Failed environmental programs like this one have ballooned over the last decade.
I think I said that.
The crazy thing is that Californians were told that this money would lower their utility bills. Meanwhile, everyone else in California, everyone other than the recipients of these panels, is now paying more than double what we were paying in 2015. Exactly. When this law was passed. If you feel like electricity is more unaffordable today, you're right. And I'm here to tell you one of the places that money went. The building behind us is Grid Alternatives. Grid is one of the nonprofits on the SOMA program administrator team. They won the contract from CPUC in 2018, and it's Grid's team that pays CEJA, this California Environmental Justice Alliance, as a subcontractor.
Environmental justice. We hear it all the time. What it
actually really don't do anything other than take your money.
Actually is money stolen from things that should be going to install solar panels to democratic political activity. Unbelievable.
It's exactly right. There's one man who sits right at the center of this arrangement.
Okay,
He is Chris Walker. He is Grid's Chief Policy and Programs Officer. He is conveniently also SOMA's program director. The same Grid executive who shapes this organization's national policy agenda also personally administers the program that sends public money to CEJA and other orgs. One man, two hats, and your money. CEJA's own job listing for a SOMA program manager confirms the relationship. It states that the role requires close coordination with the SOMA program administrators, a group of third-party administrators made up of Grid, California Housing Partnership, the Center for Sustainable Energy, and the Association for Energy Affordability.
I've just got to tell you, this is what you get. This is the machine that they've built. All these nice-sounding terms, sustainable energy, environmental justice, blah, blah, blah. What it actually means is your money going to pay to build the Democrat political machine.
That's exactly right. They have this entire group, bi-weekly meetings, Salesforce reportings. Why do you need Salesforce reporting, Steve, for this? Because they're thinking about customer generation and invoicing program expenses. This is not a loose affiliation. This is a pipeline. And
I tend to do 5 o'clock on weekdays, EM, and 6 o'clock on weekends. Because, I don't want to overlap VV in that, Vixen.
Here's the line from CJA's own job posting that should make every taxpayer furious.
There's times when I have guests on too that I have to change the time, or I got something else going on that I can't, So I tend to come on weekdays at 5, weekends at 6. That's the game plan most of the time. There's a few days I miss here and there.
The posting instructs the SOMA program manager to co-leverage SOMA activities with CJA activities supporting community needs.
Now, sometimes I'll have a candidate on that's like from the West Coast or something like that. And there's been a few times like when I had Jada on, I'd have to go on kind of early, because she's in England.
What are CJA's overall organizational initiatives? CJA is a 501c3. It cannot endorse candidates, but conveniently, its sister organization, CJA Action, is a 501c4 that does exactly that. The same leadership, same communities, and the same doors.
So the money goes from one hand to the other so they can get the other so they can get their Democrats in there. They're socialists.
I began to ask the question, why does anyone in a program that is providing free solar panels to apartment buildings have to knock on doors? Well, CJA Action has figured out the way to make this money work for them. They publish voter guides and mobilize voters of color in 2024, which brings in other issues, especially for federal dollars. They endorsed 24 progressive candidates for the California legislature, voter guides in English, Spanish, and Chinese.
Or to be your money, these taxes on part of this funding is the gas tax that goes into cap and trade, and then taxes on utilities and energy producers and providers that put your bill back, and the money is going to this.
Instead, like Steve said, it's going to the only, I'm quoting from the CJA Action website, the only statewide people of color led infrastructure with deep expertise on environmental issues and mobilizing voters in candidate races. Every single endorsed candidate by CJA Action in every single cycle is for the legislature and a progressive Democrat, every single one. According to their own 2024 legislative scorecard, those endorsed candidates must stand as a leader of progressive resistance against what they call the rising tide of fascism, which is their right, but not with your money. Now, here's where the money trail goes dark. CJA Action is not the only organization here. It gets worse. It's a fiscally sponsored project of Tides Advocacy, recently rebranded as Beyond Impact. They provide, and I quote from their own website, multi-year seed funding, strategic support, and fiscal sponsorship to create CJA Action. If you don't know Tides, it's a network of left-wing, pass-through funders that Influence Watch describes as an organization that washes away the paper trail between its grants and the original donor. Anonymity, they said, the founder himself, is very important to most of the people that we work with. And because these finances are rolled, there is no public accounting into or out of CJA Action, none whatsoever. So let me just put this together in very simple terms so everyone understands exactly what's happening. Number one, California makes large polluters pay money through cap and trade auctions, and that money goes into a pot, $100 million a year, $1 billion total. The state says, use this money to put solar panels on apartment buildings where low-income people live. Step 3, Grid Alternatives, the building behind me, gets the contract to administer the program. Chris Walker, their chief policy officer, runs it. Step 4, Grid hires CJA as a subcontractor. Their job is to knock on doors and tell people about the solar program. Why do residents need this? They don't, but CJA gets paid from the same pot of public money. Step 5, they knock on the doors, they build trust, they collect names, they run workshops. The program calls them trusted messengers. But while they're knocking, their sister organization is signing people up to vote and telling them what.
And they vote for them if they don't vote.
Candidates to support. Their own tax form says they're building a voter block of color. And this is now very, very far from solar panel installation. Step 6, the money that funds them, which started with you, the California taxpayer, and made your electricity more expensive, disappears into the Tides Foundation, where by design you can never trace it. The solar panel builds the relationship, the political arm harvests those relationships for votes, and the Tides Foundation makes sure you can never follow the money. CEJA has never installed a single solar panel, but last year that organization alone took in $10.7 million. They are a door knocking and lobbying organization that rides on top of the solar program administered by the building behind me. If there was oversight, someone might have noticed that the $72 million in solar installations paid out didn't actually come close to the $1 billion budgeted. Someone might have asked where the money went. Now we have some of it, but there is more to come. There should have been oversight by the CPUC, where we will file a report, but there isn't, because this playbook benefits the exact power players who should be
file a report and it'll go nowhere.
Safeguarding your money by instead guaranteeing the next election and other insane policies that they're currently trying to pass. My position is clear. State and federal dollars should not fund political activist organizations.
I'm hoping the conservative parts of Canada, the ones with the money anyways, that are producing the money, that where 70% of their money goes over to the eastern side, join America. And that will totally downfall Canada, and their socialism will collapse up there. Because the only way they're surviving is because Saskatchewan and Alberta are paying the bills.
That perpetuate California's one-party rule. We should not use treats like free solar power to build trust in communities for left-wing activism. We should not fund organizations with explicitly racial mission with any state or federal funding. And when we do spend money, we should spend your tax
Sorry about that,
with radical transparency, so you can see where every dollar goes the same way that anyone else can. To its credit, the Trump administration pulled funding from this organization grid in August of 2025, just a few months ago. But that money is still flowing in from California, and there has been no accountability yet to what happened with those federal funds before. We developed this investigation in under 2 weeks, using Redder's fraud detection technology, the organization's own public records, and our team of volunteers and investigators. If you have a tip on fraud, waste, or abuse, or if you'd like to volunteer, please go to caldoge.ai. Together, we can build a California that uses your money to build exceptional roads, world-class schools, electricity that you can afford, and programs that actually help Californians and don't fund the state's progressive monopoly. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Jenny Ray. Let's just underline that. In 2 weeks, as volunteers, for free, we found nearly $1 billion in fraud just in this program. $1 billion nearly. And
but there's a lot more than
that. Fraud report from Cal Doge. This is why we need Cal Doge. This is why we're doing the work now, before I'm elected governor.
A Doge program for the state of California. I guarantee people like Newsom and all of them, Nancy Pants there, would stop it.
So when we get there with my colleagues on the golden ticket, Herb Morgan, as state controller, he's going to stop the money going to these organizations. My colleague, Michael Gates, running for Attorney General, he's going to prosecute this fraud. Gloria Romero, running with me as Lieutenant Governor on the golden ticket, she's going to take action on these programs with the state legislature, stop it from happening. And Jenny Ray, as a director of Doge, you're just doing such an incredible job already. This is our second fraud report. Stay tuned for the much more to come.
Amen. All right, here's Karen Kennedy talking about the Rothschilds being investigated.
Very interesting times we are living in. The house is crumbling. Yeah. Ariane de Rothschild. Of the famous Rothschilds. Yeah, she's caught up in the Epstein saga, along with thousands of others that
I've got two brothers that moved to Florida. They got the hell out of here in New York.
It's just being released over and over every single day because people are now pouring through 3 million plus documents, even though the retarded Democrats keep saying, release the file. The files are the files. I don't call them files. I call them documents. They're documents. They are court documents. They are court records. They are the actual emails that were exchanged between Jeffrey Epstein and said people, including Ariane de Rothschild. Yeah, of one of the richest, wealthiest families in the entire freaking world for hundreds of years. Who cares about this lowly scumbag bitch? Yeah, Financial Times even reported on it, saying that Edmund Rothschild Group was in trouble. It was the end of 2015, and after months of turmoil, the Swiss private bank owned by a branch of the Rothschild dynasty was closing in on a multi-million-dollar settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice for its part in helping rich Americans hide their assets. Yeah. So, those offshore Swiss bank accounts that people were called tinfoil hat wearing freaks and conspiracy theorists and right wingers. Yeah, it turns out it was absolutely true because the Rothschilds panicked about it. Yeah. So behind the scenes, the group's French chief, Ariane de Rothschild, tasked Jeffrey Epstein and the lawyer he had introduced her to, Kathy Rummler. She's another one who has just come up, and she resigned. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Was closing the deal. So it goes through the email. You can read the Financial Times article. It's 7th of February of this year. Yet another domino falls in the House of Lords, and all of these royals like Prince Andrew, who is pretty much a damn serf at this point. Oh, God will not be mocked by these disgusting individuals. These are the same ones who have their little ceremonies every year on how to, ruin the lives of the plebs, the, bottom feeders, the useless eaters.
I'll try to get her, EM. I'll try to get her back on my channel. She's really hard. You send her a message to say, "Oh, we want to come on such and such a day," and she won't see it for 3 weeks. That's already past that date. So you got to try to message her again, set up another time. Doesn't work out too well setting them up, but I can try.
They've referred to regular humans because, they think that they're far and above, and they are the ascended ones, and they are the ones chosen to do the work.
She's been a guest on my channel twice so far.
Work of preserving the earth for their own benefit. Everything for me, but nothing for thee. Remember, what did that individual say? You will own nothing and be happy. It's theirs. They're just allowing you to utilize their resources. So, yeah, Miss de Rothschild is under investigation again by the new Department of Justice, and she is not immune just because she is a Rothschild with a bunch of money, because the dominoes are falling on every level. And it's really going to be great to start seeing some of these people hauled in. We want scalps. It's great and wonderful that all these people are being
She's got several platforms with over 100,000 followers on each of them, so she gets a ton of messages, and she doesn't get through them too quick.
Pointed to, and that their evil is being exposed. And, you don't go to Jeffrey Epstein for money. And that was in 2015. That's after.
When you talk to her personally, I know she swears a lot when she's talking about this stuff, but she's really sweet, actually. Very sweet.
He was first brought up on charges in 2005 when, President Trump, then Citizen Trump, was the only one to come forth and to cooperate with the authorities, and Donald Trump, citizen, turned his ass in. That was 2005. That was 2005. By the way, Bill Clinton just gave his deposition today before the House Judiciary Committee. I do believe it is headed by James Comer. And according to Jack Posobiec, he said in a breaking news report that Bill Clinton explicitly said under oath that Trump has nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. He has nothing. There's no connection. There's no connection. And the only reason he is in the documents is because he was the whistleblower. You dumb sumbitches. Close that door. Because if you leave it open too much longer, all of y'all monkey ass, your skeletons, is going to keep doing the crip walk out of y'all closets. See how this works? Yeah, even the Rothschilds are not immune.
They need to go to jail too.
Okay, imagine India today. So diverse, so alive, different religions, different languages, different ways of life, all existing together. Hindus, Christians, Muslims, Sikhs, Jains, Parsis. And now imagine this. One day, overnight, a new regime comes and says, from today, in this beautiful, diverse country, only one religion is allowed. Doesn't matter what you believe in, doesn't matter how you were raised. You either follow this religion or you're punished.
It's talking about 1978.
And if you don't like it.
When Carter took over, he was buddies with the extremists. Oh, we got to be nice to the Muslims. So the Muslims and Marxists banded together and overthrew the Shah.
It's fine. You can leave your country. Leave your own country. Your house, your home, leave it. Just go. Imagine they start controlling your clothes, your voice, your freedom is gone. And if you don't convert, you're called an enemy of the state. And if you protest, rightly so, you're arrested. Imagine your friend being killed because he didn't want to convert. Your Hindu friend being killed for not converting. Your Muslim friend being killed for not converting. Imagine Christians, Sikhs, anyone erased just because they refuse to change their faith overnight. That's not a metaphor. It's not an exaggeration. That is exactly what happened in Iran and to Iranians. And just because Iranians have lived under this for 47 years, people think that this is normal. But it's not. Iran was once as diverse, as cultural, as alive as India. We had people from different religions too. We have Iranian Christians, we have Iranian Jews, we have Iranian Muslims, Zoroastrians, Baha'is. The people didn't want this. So when Iranians speak up, protest, or cry for help, this is what they're fighting against. A regime that kills people for their different beliefs. A regime that turned a prosperous, rich in minerals country into a mess with no electricity, no work, lowest currency in the world, and a forever mourning nation. Iranians didn't want this. As much as you wouldn't want this for your country or your people.
Catching up while the oven is overheating. Wow, that's not good. I was going to play this. I thought this was pretty good by the Dr. Steve Turley here. It's pretty good, I thought. See what you think of his opinions on this.
Something astonishing is happening. As the Iranian regime topples in Tehran, the Democrat Party is on the verge of collapse here at home. A Democrat civil war is breaking out, one that promises to shatter an already fractured party. You're about to see one of those fractures, and the shock on the face of the CNN anchor tells you everything you need to know. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of this absolutely extraordinary historical moment we're in with breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Things are going from bad to worse for the Democrats. As we've talked about many times on this channel before, the Democrats have been experiencing their worst voter registration numbers ever. In all 30 states that track voter registration by party, the Democrats have been hemorrhaging voters in every single one of those 30 states. But now with the crushing of the Iranian regime, now Iranian American Democrats are beginning to bail on the party as well. Watch Moj Madara, a self-avowed loyal Democrat. This is actually Gwyneth Paltrow's business partner, but she absolutely...
Tammy, I'd say he's right like 70-30, 70% of the time. Maybe something like that, 70-75%. It turns out to be right.
Absolutely torches her Democrat Party on none other than CNN.
I'd recommend getting a genetic methylation test just once in your life. Just once in your life. You'll never need to do it again.
I think that it is imperative the Democratic Party wake up and get past their dislike of Donald Trump, the President Trump, and their feelings of international conflicts going on. This is about national security. This is about what is possible in the Middle East. This is about being a good neighbor, good partner to the Gulf states and what their aspirations are. This is about supporting the people of Venezuela. This is about...
I hope they lost you when they went to the whole trans thing and trans and kids and being okay for minos, which is minor attracted persons crap and all that. I hope they lost you on that.
About dismembering our relationship with, or not dismembering, but resetting our relationship with China. Right now, 55% of the oil production that Iran produces goes to China despite sanctions. You want to support the people of Ukraine, you want to end that war, you have to. There is no getting around dismembering this Islamic Republic. It is non-negotiable. It is not a want to have, it is a have to have. And it's not just for the Iranian people. I think you have to trust the Iranian people. We know this government better than anyone else. When you dismember and decapitate this regime, you are going to see a change in the Middle East, in Venezuela, in China, in Ukraine. And I think, quite frankly, their ideology has really, it's caused a lot of problems for us worldwide. We need to take it seriously. And I think at this point, we have a tremendous opportunity. This will be like ending the Soviet Union, the Berlin Wall. This is a transformational moment for humankind, for security. And as an American, this is in our interest to complete it. So I am a Democrat. I have been a huge Democrat. I am incredibly disappointed with my party. I do not see myself in them in this moment.
Yeah, and that stunned silence at the end with Dana Bash really said it all. CNN is realizing, along with the New York Times, that this historical moment that we're in is about to fracture the Democrat Party like never before. Lifelong Democrats are leaving. And like I mentioned earlier with the voter registration.
Well, it's videos of the same people at different protests for different causes and this and that. So whatever sign they put out that day, it's pretty much they hate Trump.
This has been going on for some time now. Between 2020 and 2024.
The same people getting paid money, the leadership of the groups, I wouldn't say every individual, but the main people, the loudest out there, the ones orchestrating it.
Democrats lost approximately 2.1 million registered voters across those 30 states that track voter registration by party. All the while, Republicans gained 2.4 million voters. So that's a 4.5 million registration swing towards the Republicans in just 4 years. And this de-alignment away from the Democrat Party, and particularly among Iranians.
If we can get voter ID for the midterms, we have a good shot at keeping the House and the Senate.
That's been going on for a while now, too. Take a look at this video from January. Check this out.
I used to be a Democrat. I stood by you guys because you promised us liberty, justice, diversity. This is not diversity. Your silence is complicit. Democrats.
The ear piercing on him is very distracting to me.
Wake the damn up. This is not okay. Iranian people right now, they're in prison. They're in prison. They're in complete digital blackout. How can you be silent?
Again, what's so key here, and we talked about this in our earlier video today, is that the dethroning of the Iranian regime is actually reviving the Democrat civil war that erupted originally after October 7th. So this is a civil war between pro-Palestinian progressives and pro-Israeli liberals. It's actually what calls a number of prominent Democrats like billionaire Bill.
How about just being pro-American?
Ackman and the Jewish journalist Batya Ungar-Sargon to leave the Democrat Party and align themselves with Republicans. In fact, Batya has become one of the most articulate and insightful analysts of this massive political realignment. But that civil war inside the Democrat Party is erupting again right now. But now it's expanding to include Iranian Americans who've traditionally voted Democrat. Now they're bailing out on their party for the same reasons that so many Jewish Democrats bailed after October 7th. And again, this is a very real political realignment happening right before our very eyes. I mean, we saw it after the Maduro arrest back in January among Cuban and Venezuelan Americans specifically. The data clearly shows a consolidation of Republican support following Maduro's arrest, particularly in Florida, which is the political center of gravity for both communities. The intervention validated the anti-communist, strong on foreign policy messaging that had already been pulling these Latino communities rightward since 2020. In fact, the Venezuelan American community has shown probably the single most dramatic political movement in that time period. In 2024, Trump won Doral, Florida, the epicenter of the Venezuelan diaspora, by 23 points. 90% of Florida's roughly 400,000 Venezuelan residents now support the Republican Party. It's absolutely astonishing. And everything thus far suggests that we're going to see something comparable among Iranian Americans. And of course, if Cuba's next, I mean, that settles it. Venezuelans, Cubans, Iranians, all of Venezuelan, Cuban, Iranian Americans will all be voting Republican for the next generation. And it looks like we're already seeing the effects of this political realignment going into the midterms. Harvard-Harris just dropped an absolute bombshell poll on the Democrats that's going to absolutely blow you away. Let me tell you what I'm seeing right now. Most people are trying to build wealth by making predictions, okay? They're trying to predict the market. Yeah. They're trying to predict in live only, no statutes. It represents today. It's remarkable. It represents an 8-point swing to the Republicans since their last generic ballot poll a couple of weeks back. The Republicans gained 4 points while the Democrats lost 4. And as I read that poll, I thought about a rather remarkable...
A lot of them I'd seen for a while they were doing 1 year, if they were a guy, 1 year Pierce.
Piece that just dropped in Politico today. It's remarkable not because it's flattering to Trump, but because of what it admits. The headline reads, Trump buries the 20th century. And the thesis is stunning. Politico, remember, Politico is a left-leaning mainstream outlet, okay? They are now openly acknowledging that Donald Trump has permanently dismantled the entire post-World War II global order and that there's no going back to it. That's the amazing thing with this article. The article argues that the old 20th century framework, NATO as we knew it, NAFTA-era trade deals, Obama's détente with Iran and Cuba. We could add the traditional Democrat voting coalition of Latinos, working class whites. All of it is now dead and buried. It's gone. And here's the key line. They admit that the next president, whoever that is, JD, of course, will not be able to restore any of it, even if it were.
Have you ever wondered?
Sorry about that. I'm going to end this one
something
anyways.
Small.
We got the point. Let me close that and I'll bring up another clip. Hold on. Let me grab it. Where was I here? I lost track where it was. Okay, here we are. I don't know how they do that cheering.
USA, thank you. 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 USA, thank you.
They're using the flag with the lion on it instead of the Islamic symbols. And they really hate that over there, the bosses over there. I forgot where this protest was, but I want to say New York, but I'm probably wrong. Because it's a lot better than the whistles and all that. Okay, Charles. Okay, the next one I have is a message to the Somalia communities.
I want to leave a very clear message to the Somalia community that if there was ever a time that you needed my voice, my platform to protect the innocent Somalians in your community, you better turn this piece of shit in immediately. I have 3 videos to show you. First, take a look at this one. This Somalian man mocking the hardworking taxpayer citizens of the United States of America.
Go to work for me, white boy, white girl. Yeah. Go to work for me, you fucking white animals. Fucking work for me. Yeah, you fucking work for me. And the U.S. government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes. Take care of me and my people. All right? This is my...
Colin's saying that to bomb Downing Street so they could get freedom in England, Britain. People are saying that about Cuba.
My land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes. You better fucking pay your taxes.
After making this video that you just saw, this Somalian knew that he was receiving a lot of heat, as all the larger influencers like myself are stitching his platform all over social media. And then he came out with a second video, and you can see he's trying to act like a tough guy, but it's very clear in this video that he's extremely nervous of the negative tension that is being brought his way.
Come get the Somalian freeloader. Come get him. Are you really going to waste your resources and time to come find a freeloader?
I would. I don't know. And the quicker than I was expecting. Where was I? Here we are. Let's go with this. This is Death to Allah. I'm gonna play this Yeah, this is the last. I did play this. This is in Iran. All these mullahs and all that.
Joe Biden named Peter Neffenger the chairman of the Smartmatics USA.
I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this tomorrow. I won't play this today. I was going to do something on election Dominion machine type stuff. I got it on the wrong day here.
Cells. There are cells in Washington, D.C., all throughout New York City, and the entire state. So many that they say that they cannot identify the cities, just there are them everywhere in the state of New York. San Francisco, California. Santa Clara, California. Los Angeles, California. San Diego, California. Houston, Texas. Arlington, Texas. Dallas, Texas. Boca Raton, Florida. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Orlando, Florida.
A lot of them talk, though. If they want to be famous, they talk to someone and say they're going to do such and such, this and that, and we can find some of them. It's just such an overwhelming number of them since Biden came in. You know, they flooded the country.
Tampa, Florida. Boston, Massachusetts. Plainfield, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois. Cleveland, Ohio. Laurel, Maryland. Potomac, Maryland, Herdon, Virginia, Springfield, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Charlotte, North Carolina, Detroit, Michigan, Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Denver, Colorado, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tucson, Arizona, and Seattle, Washington. List of cities that we've received from U.S. intelligence. These are the FBI sleeper cell locations where they believe that there are cells in various cities that should be on a heightened state of alert. Now, again, this was back in 2023, but we're seeing all of this coming back now as we're entering into 2026 because of everything that is going on. Let me know, are you concerned about potential sleeper cell attacks in the United States? We've been hearing this warnings for years, but now they're saying it is coming back again. It's getting closer potentially. So let me go ahead and go through the list for you.
All right, I'm going to play a bit on Bill Clinton's testimony at the Epstein trial here. Let's show that.
In the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion? You're asking him to think about why Mr. Epstein would say something about him?
Why would Epstein say that about
these two lawyers with him are real pain in the ass. You don't even get anything answered.
Asking you to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
Clinton likes them young, referring to girls.
First of all,
could have said that he said such and such, but then that might be hearsay too.
That's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes.
Okay.
At my age, anybody younger than I am.
Did you know Jeffrey Epstein instructed a witness to deny you were?
See his hand shaking? You think he's got Parkinson's or something now? Or what do you think that is? Let me rewind that just slightly. Watch his hands shaking like crazy.
You know Jeffrey Epstein instructed a witness to deny you were ever on his island?
Anyone in chat know what that could be? Could it be Parkinson or other things?
He didn't have to since I was never there.
Did you ever travel to Zorro Ranch?
Is that the one in New Mexico?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Have you ever flown on anyone else's private jet 26 times or more for overseas trips?
I have flown as many miles on other jets, but never with as many stops.
How many other people's planes have you used, like Epstein 26 times or miles, etc.?
I don't know. I did with Steve Bing, who's now deceased. And probably with
must have been on Hillary's suicide list.
4 or 5 others.
Okay. So maybe about a half dozen billionaires total. So how many dinners did you have with Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein in attendance?
Did you see him shaking there? Ridiculously so.
She's asking to the best of your recollection.
I have no idea.
Okay. Did you ever discuss sexual misconduct allegations made against you with Epstein or Maxwell?
Never.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer to help manage or silence women who made sexual misconduct allegations against you?
No.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer financial support directly or indirectly to legal defense funds related to impeachment proceedings or civil actions against you?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you think a young girl massaging a president is unusual?
So are you asking his opinion?
Well, he was massaged by a young woman. I'm asking if he thinks it's unusual that a president, sitting president of the United States, leader of the free world, that
So I'm
it's
sorry,
unusual.
are you speaking to, are you talking to the...
Yeah, he lives too close to Hillary not to be suicide. If he makes a mistake, I think he's worried about making a mistake. He sure is drinking a lot of coffee. I wonder if there's whiskey in there or something.
Instance of the
Yes, is it unusual that
the
a
back
young woman would be
massage that
massaging?
occurred while he was not president? I'm just trying to understand. You said a president of the United States.
Former president?
Thank you.
So what if it was former or otherwise? He's still with those girls.
Just trying to make sure we're correct in the
Are you
time frame.
filibustering?
No, I don't need
Okay.
to. I'm actually trying to make
I
sure
think
that
I'm
as
pretty
you...
clear. He said
You said he was a sitting
Excuse me,
president.
Excuse me, could we just please go one at a time? Thank you.
You said a sitting president. I want you to be clear so that when he answers
Former
you,
sitting
the
president. How
record
do
is
you want
clear.
to do it? Is it unusual?
I have no idea if it's unusual.
Objection calls for speculation.
I figured. Do you ever? Did you ever?
Speculation, huh? Wow. He knows whether he did or didn't do it.
In the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion?
Oh, okay. I got this.
You're asking him to act.
And what we're trying to get at is some context for the public on whether you remember this photo and any details you may be able to provide us about it. So do you recall the details of this photo, recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken.
Okay, and for those who can't see it, it's a photo of you in a hot tub. There's a person next to you here. Do you remember where it was taken? Where was it taken?
I'm almost sure that this taken, I think there's an adjacent photograph, which you probably have, that if people saw it, they would feel that someone was trying to con them showing this picture. But anyway, this picture was taken in Brunei. And we flew one night.
But Colin, he
on
is a
trip to
piece of
Asia,
crap.
the last very long leg.
You said we. Is it who is that including?
Well, my TIL team that was working
Thank you.
on the AIDS issue, and Mr. Epstein was there, and
Yeah.
Miss Maxwell. But anyway, we got to the end of the flight was Brunei. It's a tiny place, but a very wealthy one. And the Sultan of Brunei
Gotta still face the maker.
was
You're
a
right.
man that I had gotten to know well in my 8 years as president.
Irish coffee, yeah.
And his first involvement with international matters is based.
They say if you add caffeine to when you're drinking, you can drink a lot more, but then it can hit you later.
Basically, to join the Asian Pacific Economic Leaders Conference, which I started and which he attended. And then he was very proud of that. And he hosted.
Yep.
His time came to host it. You know, you do these things in rotation. And it came at either at the very end of my term or maybe the next year. Anyway, he wanted, when he knew I was coming, and he said he wanted to help me with my AIDS initiative, and he invited me to stay there. And he said, I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the
they have lawyers there.
Pool. So I did. And then I got out and went to bed exhausted.
Just for the record, there's another picture that also shows this as part of the larger pool area. Do you all have that so that he can refresh his recollection with respect to that?
You should
That's a
have
good
it.
question, Charles.
It's quite enlightening. If you watch this,
Yes, it's noted.
It'll
Yes.
give you a different feel.
Thank you.
Okay.
We don't have it with us right now.
Okay.
We do.
Thanks. I just wanted to make sure he knew the
And so
context.
were there other people in that pool or hot tub with you as well?
I don't think there's anybody in the hot tub. I didn't forgotten that there was anybody in the hot tub, but it was big.
Forgot,
it was about.
Well,
He's asking in the pool
It appears
area.
there's this photo. There's a girl over here, or there's someone.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
But he's also asking in the pool area were there other
Yes,
individuals.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know.
No, and then there were other people in the pool.
Okay, so do you remember who?
Also sounds like he has
under
throat
18?
cancer.
Would you know? No.
Were they part of your traveling party? He's asking you.
Yes, they were, I think. I think everybody there was part of our party. It was late at night or late-ish. And I also believe that there was a Secret Service agent there at the other end of the pool.
Okay, and was this in public?
I can't see the names either. Only if the
No, it
name
was a
pops
hotel
up.
room, and the Sultan wanted us to stay there, and
The blue dress one, that's a good one. I wonder how he answers that one.
water, this big pool, was on the same floor
Good one, Marianne.
that there were several suites, and so we went out. I swam around. I sat in the hot tub for 5 minutes, or whatever it was, and I got up and went to bed.
And then I have to ask this: did you engage in any sexual activity
No.
with this person? Great, thank you.
And that ends this round, and we can go off the record.
Off the record, huh?
I'd like to ask you personally and directly, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Are you asking him to speculate on how Mr. Epstein died?
I'm asking what the president thinks.
How about if he happens to know?
So you're asking his opinion?
Mr. President, was your friend Jeffrey Epstein
Are you
suicidal?
classifying him as a friend who he has testified that he was
has
friendly?
called him a friend in a letter.
He said he was friendly, but not. You've asked for his testimony.
Mr. President, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was suicidal?
Boy, they sure are running some pretty big interference.
Do you know?
Was he ever
She's asking for the
suicidal?
best of your
I
understanding.
don't know. I only know what the medical finding was. I think maybe
That's it.
he finally got caught, and I don't know. I've accepted it in my own mind. I don't know what happened,
Mr. President, what did you accept? That he killed himself or that he did not?
but he did. But I don't know.
Yes, sir. Thank
And
you,
neither
Mr.
do you.
President.
We don't. None of us know.
He's a piece of crap. I agree, Kurt. I agree. He's a piece of crap. Where am I here? All right, now we get to see a little bit of Hillary.
And
She
how do
was
you know
doing.
Howard Lutnick? I know Howard Lutnick because when I was senator on 9/11, the firm he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnick missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping his child off to kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're going to
This was what I spent my time doing.
I'm a survivor trying to look out for other survivors, trying to
and I was taking care of the people who lost 3,000 lives.
And now you're being
at World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today.
You asked me
I have
about
met
Howard
with Epstein survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did not.
Howard Lutnick was
If
used
you
to
have an
get money.
email with me asking Jeffrey Epstein
I have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to Jeffrey Epstein and his people to raise money for
I don't know about
for an event, an intimate event for you at his offices at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're going to sit here today and obfuscate and say to this committee, you didn't try to get money from Jeffrey.
Wouldn't it be something if they get all this testimony, then they bring him out and make them all out liars and get them all on perjury?
Epstein, when there was an intimate event in an email that Howard Lutnick emailed to Epstein's people and Epstein to get him to come to your intimate event at Cantor Fitzgerald, a very small event.
I think he was blackmailing pretty much all of them to get stuff done.
And so I'm not going to put, you want to yell at me, that's fine, but I'll yell right back.
Well,
okay? I am looking out for
survivors.
If you ask me, she's still just as ugly.
I'm doing the job that you would not do and refuse to do as Secretary of State. Thank you, and I yield back to
No,
Congresswoman.
I'm going to finish answering the question, which I have a right to do. I am very sympathetic to your personal situation. I have read about it. I have seen you testify or speak on the floor about it. And I very much sympathize with not only what you went through, but appreciate your effort to stand up for survivors. I was a senator representing the people.
So why are you for all these little kids getting raped?
People who were murdered on 9/11. Nobody lost more people than Howard Lutnick. You can say whatever you want. You can call him and have him appear before the committee.
Yeah, she's really full of adrenochrome, and it looks like Bill Clinton's coming down from it.
But I knew him. I knew him.
You know, they get a little mental when they get off the adrenochrome or when they don't have it.
As the man who lost the employees that he knew intimately, including his brother.
And he was
so I worked.
You and
Let her
Jeffrey
finish
Epstein
her
raising
answer,
money
please.
for you.
Let her finish her answer.
You know what? If you don't want to hear what emotionally affected me, that's fine. But that's why I know Howard Lutnick. I went to the memorial service every 9/11 after the formal service was held.
I see what you're
with
doing here.
all,
and you're
with all
from
of
Marianne, I bet
his
you would-
people, the families.
Marianne, I bet you'd like to slap her.
Jeffrey Epstein raising money for
Well, you know, Howard Lutnick and I did work
Thank you. I will
together
now yield
because
to
we had a lot of
Congresswoman.
victims to take care of, and we worked together to rebuild downtown Manhattan.
Hillary,
That
that's
is
what I
how I
call
know
her.
Howard Lutnick.
Oh, she almost became president too.
2017
Pizzagate.
speeches and interviews, you described
Watch this
pizza.
whole finagle about Pizzagate. You know damn well what it means.
Gate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, does
You're
this
asking
relate-
her about whether
Excuse me.
she's reviewed emails in
the
the Epstein
Epstein files.
files, which relate to the wacky Pizzagate
You
scandal.
could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So
She's
excuse me,
commenting.
your question is about whether or not she has reviewed any
Look at her
emails
smile.
in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and
Yeah, a
shoot
lot of
up
people killed.
a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
Yep.
There are
KF Junior there, JFK. Junior there kind of was killed, suicide, or not suicide, a plane crash thing, just so she could be senator.
Connections to the language.
Well,
I'm
the
not talking
QAnon
about,
people believe there are. So
I don't know what QAnon
have at
people
it.
believe.
Have at it.
But you've accused certain parties, and I think even right now today, of promoting.
If I can find the whole thing, the whole testimony that day, I might grab it.
Slow walking information in ways that fuels conspiracies. In your view, did any Epstein-Maxwell related investigations or file handling pre or post 2019 contribute
I hope so, and
to
soon.
or intersect with the spread of Pizzagate style theories about Democrat figures?
Objection.
I have no way of answering. That is the most
speculation.
ridiculously.
Have you or your
She's lied her whole life.
Representatives identified any Epstein file content that has been misinterpreted online to revive those claims? And what steps, if any, have you taken to clarify?
I smell.
Again, object the ground.
Smell of skunk.
I think that this is all very
Speculation.
reasonable.
Oh, you're a boxing
First
ring.
of all,
Oh, in a boxing ring.
I
used to
don't
box.
follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online.
I used to box. I boxed in the Empire State Games and stuff. I was a wrestler too.
I regret that anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything
Do you think
that might
pizza-
have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
I think she lives by praying to Satan. If I could spell it here. Let me get into the next one. Here, let's go with. Well, that's the other. Okay, here we go with this one.
Howdy, Texas. So today we had the Foreign Terrorist Organization testify before the Texas State Board of Education, again, the Council on American Islamic Relations, which Governor Abbott has designated as a foreign terrorist organization, which the FBI has said is the face of the Muslim Brotherhood, another terrorist organization. So today dealing with terrorists, they make demands. So I'm going to share with you the demand letter from Shema Zayan, Z-A-Y-A-N, who says that she is the operations manager for the Council of American Islamic Relations. Okay, so this is what they want. They want taught to students in Texas that 1/3 of all slaves in America were Muslim, and that they were enslaved because of their Muslim faith, and they were persecuted and killed during slavery because of their Muslim faith. So that's why they were enslaved. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. David Barton, if you're watching this, you are a great historical scholar. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're 1/3 of all slaves in America Muslim. I don't know. I've never seen evidence to that or thought about that. The other thing that they want is they want the Mayflower Compact not to be taught. Another thing that they want is they want Columbus, all references to Columbus and Columbus Day removed. Another thing they
got a few demands there to change our culture and our history.
They want Thanksgiving removed. Specifically, they want
no Thanksgiving Day either.
The 1789 President George Washington proclamation about Thanksgiving and the Thanksgiving prayer, which is a National Archive document. This is a presidential proclamation. They want that removed. They don't want students from Texas learning about Thanksgiving or George Washington's Thanksgiving prayer. Another thing that they want is they want added that the Alamo was influenced by Islam. Did you know, according to them, I mean, this is so laughable. This is such a rewrite of history. Did you know that according to them, that the
somehow Alamo had something to do with Islam?
Design of the Alamo is specific to Islamic architecture, and that the people who built the Alamo were trying to honor Islam whenever they built the Alamo. I'm telling y'all, you can't make this up. You cannot make up this rewrite of history that they're wanting. Also, they are wanting to.
If they get to take over Texas, they're going to change it all. The white Christian's going to be made out bad, and Muslims and Islam would be pushed.
To include several people who have written great works of fiction. I'm going to say it that way. It's a rewrite of American history and Texas history. So I'm going to say these great works of hubris and fiction to be included and teaching.
John and Tammy, what do you think about them doing all this in Texas?
Our children as facts about Muslim contributions to the founding of the United States of America and Muslim
contributions to the founding of USA. What the hell?
Contributions to the founding of Texas. So, y'all, I'm telling you, look, here it is. This is the 2-page demand list from this terrorist organization on what they want your children and what they want your grandchildren to be taught. And I'm telling you, they're going to hit this big, beautiful wall right here. This is going to be a hard no. This is a beautiful red, white, and blue wall that I get to honor. I have the honor of representing you, SBOE 7, and I promise you this terrorist organization.
I don't know this lady. I just found this clip.
Organization is hitting this beautiful red, white, and blue wall. This is not acceptable. We're going to teach Christopher Columbus. We're going to teach the 10 Commandments. We're going to teach Thanksgiving. We're going to teach George Washington Thanksgiving prayer. We are certainly not going to teach that the Alamo was designed and built to honor Islam. So God bless y'all. Y'all keep praying. We're going to keep on winning, and God bless Texas.
Amen on that. All right, this next one is Islam has no place in America. This woman talks about Mandami.
How can your country be a ruin like that right now? I tell them we picked our Mamdani, not me. A lot of people picked their Mamdani 47 years ago in Iran, which was Khomeini at that time. If you watch if you just listen to what Mamdani said in New York, it's verbatim what Khomeini said 47 years ago in the Islamist lefty committee at that time.
Are you talking about Karen Kennedy? Karen Kennedy? I don't think she's on YouTube. She's on Twitter. She's on Twitter, on X.
People got fooled because it was at the end of 70s and they just wanted to be hippies and free.
And then I grab a lot of her clips and play them.
That's how it looked like at that time for Iran. So they picked a Khomeini that was supposed to just come and help people have free.
Oh, she's also on like Facebook and this, but she goes live on Twitter. That's the place she goes live.
Free everything and give the oil money.
How could you say no to? How could you say no to free everything?
Free all of that, and you watch what he says. You listen to Mamdani. Trashes are 7 feet high in New York. He just became mayor, but his priorities are.
But that's what they want to teach. If they get control, they'll teach the lies.
To Prophet Muhammad, to Hijrah, he brought Medina, all of these 1400 years ago. What happened with their prophet? He just brought it to New York. That terrifies me.
I know I have other Muslim friends. Well, they're not actually Muslim, like Annie, who lives in Indonesia. And she was born a Muslim, but she left it when 9/11 happened. And she was part of my spy people at that time, who could translate a lot of stuff. And she left it, and her brother-in-law beat her up and left her for dead for leaving, being a Muslim there in Indonesia. But she refused. There you have to be a religion, so she became Christian there, which you can be, which is like only 1%, but they are constantly burning down their churches and their houses there and all that kind of stuff. They're pretty brutal to them if they are Christian there. So anyways, yeah, they want to get rid of Christmas and all that. So did I watch that whole thing? I did. All right, let me go on to the next one. Sorry. A little bit slow getting there. Let's see where I'm at here. Persian woman.
This is one of the most important videos that needs to bring awareness to what is possibly going to happen inside of Iran. As the regime is preparing for possible attacks by the U.S., what we have noticed is all the footage coming out. Now pay attention. I'm not going to show images. I'm not going to show pictures. I want to make sure that this reaches the algorithm. The images coming out of all these makeshift morgues and all these bodies
I probably got another clip of
young men and just men. We are not seeing women and we are not seeing children. And there is a reason for that. We have received word from inside of Iran. Now, this is information that is repetitive in history, but is going to play out again. The information is this. They are hiding the women and children's body. They are waiting for the U.S. to attack, so then they can place these bodies and say, see, they are killing women and children. No, dear. They were already murdered by the Islamic regime occupying Iran. And they have also started setting up in school systems and putting IRGC bases in there. And when they do strike IRGC facilities, where do you think these strikes are going to hit? Luckily, these schools are empty, but they will be filled with women and children's bodies after they have been struck, so they can point the finger. And this is a common tactic used by the regime because they know that the Western leftists are going to
I have another clip from her.
Eat this up, and they're going to start a whole movement of hands off Iran. And I'm telling you right now, our people inside Iran want the USA to strike whatever they can to get rid of this regime. And it is not fair to silence their voices. We have lost too many lives, and we know we are going to lose more. This is a revolution. This is a war between the people and the government. And the only way that this will come to an end is if there is international intervention and help. Don't let the Islamic regime change the narrative, and don't allow them to sweep their crimes under the rug. Please continue to be the voice of Iranian people. Make your own video. Bring awareness to this. We must get this out before the media is able to be corrupted by the Islamic regime.
Okay, Em, I got another clip from her. I was going to play it a little bit later, but I'll play it now. About the big mouth military wife who had a big mouth. She was going to harm her husband's. She's talking about this lady harming her husband's career. This is Karen Kennedy.
Wow, I'm late to my timeline and I log on to see this. What is this thing? What is this thing? I'm not even going to play this video.
EM, I'll send you a link later, okay?
Because it's just not even worth listening to, except maybe once. And I even sped through. This is a military spouse, supposedly, who has shown her stupid ass online in public, talking shit about President Trump and more than half the country who voted him in, bitch, including me. By the way, you're welcome, because if Kamala would have got in there, that Hindu whore.
It takes you ever for her to reply if you send her a message.
Your monkey ass would have been living under a freaking rock in a cave. You got your nerve. Woo! You know what? Somebody, what's her damn TikTok handle? I see that's a TikTok video. So I can go over there and roast her ass over there. Who do you think you are? You white liberal bitches are all alike. You look at this shit your husband has to come home to. Look at this. Look at this. A 2.5 at best. What the fuck? He's out drinking one night and you the first one to roll up, and you probably got knocked up right away, and he wasn't married, your stupid ass. Do something about them pimples on your face and that damn 1972 ass Partridge Family bang you got in your head, and that scriggly scraggly you got hanging down. The girl, whoa. You have disgraced your husband online for the world to see. This video is being shared across the planet. You ignorant bitch. Ignorant. I gotta get ghetto. You ignorant.
Colin, I think the only schools, and I don't think they've done any hotels I've heard of, but maybe the schools, a lot of times as the extremists are in the basements and stuff, they'll deliberately put their weapons and their stuff in the basements, and they try to bomb it when the school's not in session and stuff like that.
Bitch. Let me tell you what's happening now, because it's been hours. You have got your husband drug from out the field or wherever he is into the CO's office. And it's going to start with a counseling statement, and God knows where it goes from there. He is going to be counseled on the Uniform Code of Military Justice, because your big
She lives in Colorado, and she might run for office here in the near future.
Fucking mouth is an extension of him. When you cut up, he gets disciplined. So congratulations, dumb whore. You got him in trouble with the commanding officer. This is why soldiers need a class on going to the bar and picking up this disgusting down below the sewer trailer trash like her. You got it easy. You live on post or on base. You ain't got no damn job because you're making these videos disgracing your husband's name. You didn't disgrace the president, honey, because you can't even speak his name. You simple bitch. You sit in the house, you don't do shit all day, you probably got munch houses by proxy, and you take your kids to the doctor 6 times a week because nobody pays enough attention to you, so you create problems. Oh, bitch, I was family readiness group leader. I was FRG leader during my husband's deployments. I know how the game goes. I know about simple bitches like you. You got your husband in trouble over your big mouth.
She lost 2 people, her husband, I think it was her son, to the military.
And who the fuck told you that some hospital with children got bombed? Stop sitting on your big fat ass watching The View and CNN or MSDNC or MS Now or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves this week. Get up off your ass and go volunteer at your kid's school or something. Go volunteer at a plant making factory. I don't know. Stop being on post, smoking weed all day, doing nothing, eating freaking hot Cheetos and drinking Mountain Dew and screeching about the president who has done more for the military. Oh, wait, bitch, I bet you spent that. You don't even leave him enough money in the bank at the end of the month to survive when he's deployed because your big ass spends it all and has Amazon showing up at your house 19 times.
I gotta tell her she was owed money from the government and she ended up homeless because when Biden was in, because she was conservative, they were finding many ways to not release it. I guess there was some money coming to her when her husband died in the military. And she had to fight until Trump got in. Then she finally got her money.
Once a week. Shut your freaking whore mouth. Shut your mouth. Do you have a boyfriend coming in on post? Do you have a boyfriend you're sneaking in while your husband's gone? I know you bitches. I dealt with you. You're all alike and you haven't changed. To the poor schlep who's married to this witch, bro, get the motherfucking divorce papers ready before you get kicked out the military and ruin your life and have a permanent black mark on your DD-214 because of this hoe. Get rid of her. She's not worth it. You can do better than that. Gross.
Yep. All right, I'm going to close with this one. It's a little bit longer. It's about 28 minutes. It's about the Obama treason bombshell. $1.7 billion in secret money to Iran.
The contrast in leadership could not be more clear. Barack Obama and Joe Biden sent pallets of cash, American taxpayer dollars, in a failed attempt to buy the Iranian regime's compliance with a weak and ineffective deal.
Because Iran knew that they were lying about the death of Obama. Whatever.
Obama left office. He sent $1.7 billion in cash to
right.
Iran. The money was delivered in actual cash, stacked on pallets and flown into the country. It happened in January 2016 when Obama authorized the transfer of the money to the nation known for sponsoring terrorism. The funds were allegedly part of a long-standing financial obligation stemming from a pre-1979 agreement. Prior to the Iranian Revolution, the United States had committed to supplying Iran with military equipment. However, following the revolution, the transaction was abandoned, leaving Iran to claim reimbursement for the $400 million initially paid. With the accrued interest, this amount spiked to $1.7 billion. The Obama administration decided to resolve the debt. On January 17th of 2016, an aircraft arrived in Iran carrying $400 million in cash loaded onto pallets. The remaining remaining balance of the
Oh, my mouth
$1.7
doesn't
billion
work sometimes.
was delivered in subsequent shipments.
A CNN reporter found Osama bin Laden, took a television camera crew with him, went into Osama bin Laden's hideout, interviewed him and his top leadership. You see, because the largest intelligence apparatus in the world, with the biggest budget in the history of the world, has been looking for Osama bin Laden for years and years and years, and can't find him.
On May 2nd, 2011, President Obama announced that Navy SEALs had killed Osama bin Laden.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda.
The raid didn't take place in mountains on the Afghan border or in a cave, though. It took place in Abbottabad, one of Pakistan's nicest cities and just a mile from Pakistan's version of West Point. Yet people across Pakistan do not believe bin Laden was ever in Pakistan, let alone killed there. To understand why, we traveled to bin Laden's compound and met Osama's neighbors.
Walaikum salam.
Bin Laden's neighborhood, Bilal Town, was the nicest part. Driving through, we had to keep putting the camera down so we didn't film any military installations or police.
I think this is one of the nicest neighborhoods we've been in all of Pakistan yet. Really? This is it. This is it. So this was exactly where his house was, right in the middle of a really nice neighborhood, less than a mile from the West Point of Pakistan, their military academy. Did they get rid of it because they didn't want it to become an attraction?
Yeah, I think that is one of the reasons, because they did not want it to remain. It's just like as a place of, like a shrine, or
Yeah.
like a place people come here.
Assalamu alaikum. Kya haal hai? Theek hai? I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Walaikum salam. Thank you. I'm from the U.S.
Okay.
I hear this is something famous happening here.
Yes. But this time you don't hear in this place. Some people says America air fighter this time come, but nobody Osama bin yet. His wife and his children here, but not.
You don't think he was ever here?
No.
But so when
I know that he was a big porn fan, that's for sure.
the helicopters came,
yes,
they weren't actually
gone.
He was gone.
Gone.
Talking to bin Laden's neighbors made clear that most people do not believe the world's most wanted man was ever in Abbottabad. For them, the story is just one more example of American plotting in one of the world's most mysterious countries.
You're going to find out that 3 former CIA directors were all implicated by allowing this to continue to keep bin Laden alive in Iran. They moved him from Iran over to Pakistan for the trophy kill. Instead of just giving him to us, Iran was like, all right, here, take him. They were going to give him to us. And instead, Hillary and Biden and them cooked up this plan to have him transferred to Pakistan for a trophy kill. They want to do a trophy kill.
Right before his reelection.
Yeah, they wanted to do it right before his reelection. And then, fast forward a little bit, he is reelected. One thing that people don't know, though, is that the payments to Iran were related to that. I've heard 2 things. I've heard that bin Laden, that wasn't him, as his body double. I mean, I guess we'll never know if they buried it at sea, that story, right? But either way, even if they did kill him or didn't kill him, the payments occurred because of that transaction. And of course, the pallets of cash are kickbacks, right? So
The transaction of SEAL Team 6's.
Oh, I'm talking about. So afterward, after the this all happens, SEAL Team 6 gets shot down. It was only a really short time after that, and that was highly suspect even to us. When we were briefed on it and everything, none of it made any sense. Nobody knows where they are at any time. Practically a handful of people do, and for them to be targeted so easily. Like sitting ducks.
You have declared a jihad against the United States. Can you tell us why?
The US government has committed acts that are extremely unjust, hideous, and criminal through its support of the Israeli occupation of Palestine. And we believe the US is directly responsible for those killed in Palestine, Lebanon, and Iraq. Due to its subordination to the Jews, the arrogance of the United States regime has reached the point that they occupied Arabia, the holiest place of the Muslims, who are more than 1 billion people in the world today. For this and other acts of aggression and injustice, we have declared jihad against the U.S.
Is the jihad directed against the U.S. government or United States troops in Arabia? What about U.S. civilians in Arabia or the people of the United States?
We have focused our declaration of jihad on striking at the U.S. soldiers inside Arabia, the country of the two holy places, Mecca and Medina. In our religion, it is not permissible for any non-Muslim to stay in Arabia. Therefore, even though American civilians are not targeted in our plan, they must leave. We do not guarantee their safety.
You see, the CIA created Osama bin Laden. They recruited him. They trained him. They found his leadership. They brought them all together. They showed them how to fight the Soviet Union in Afghanistan, and when that was over, they still continued to fund him and train him, and they're now using him to help bring about world government by making him the big boogeyman, because they can't use
world government by collapsing our government.
Saddam Hussein anymore. Did you ever hear of Osama bin Laden before you heard of Saddam Hussein? When did you start hearing of Osama bin Laden? It was after Saddam Hussein and Iraq were supposedly neutralized in the Gulf War, because they needed a new boogeyman. A reporter from CNN and his little camera crew got into Osama bin Laden's secret hideout and conducted an interview.
Have we dumped a body of the enemy in the middle of the ocean? Okay. How many times in the history of the U.S. have we dumped a body, an enemy's body, in the middle of the ocean? In the ocean. Okay. So it's got to be 50 times, 25 times, maybe 18 times, maybe twice. No, only once. And it's only Osama bin Laden. And we've had a lot of other bodies. Now, then I sat there and I said, okay, let's have some fun with this one here, okay? In our family, we love the movie Transformers. It's a great movie, okay? And can you type in the Transformers where Megatron gets dumped in the middle of the ocean, okay? It's in 2007, okay? Where in 2007 film, Transformers, Megatron's body, along with the remains of other Decepticons, was dumped into the Laurentian Abyss, a deep-sea trench, in an attempt to keep them dormant and prevent them from being revived. That's 2007, right? And then 4 years later, in May of 2011, we're dumping Osama bin Laden's body in the middle of the ocean, something we've never done before. Makes the average guy who kind of wants to question some of the stuff and say, yeah, it's a little strange, because they could have buried the body in different places. But to do something like this, and we've killed a lot of different people in the history of America, but we've never done this before. Is there something that happened with the body? Is there something that we don't know? The timing of it's a little bit weird. I mean, if they were inspired by it, at least what I could say is whoever came up with the idea to put the story out there, I give them credit because they have good taste in movies. At least they like Transformers. You got to respect that part of it, right? But for me, I'm still skeptical about this.
My name's Alan Perot. I was a falconer for Arab political leaders for 20 years. And then I spent another 10 years in former Soviet territories doing conservation work and catching falcon smugglers.
I have always been searching for the reasons as to why they wanted everyone to die in Benghazi. And boy, do you have some really good information that explains everything. And you know, we appreciate that you're taking the time to share it with us, everyone. So
our military are so well trained. Their work is compartmentalized. The only people that understand the full story are the people at the top. And they have made some very bad decisions for this country. The former Navy SEAL Ty Woods and his brethren who perished unnecessarily at the hands of Hillary Clinton. And in the large picture, this involves Joe Biden and John Brennan.
How did this all start?
Well, the gestation, the beginning was in the 70s during the Church Commission, when an alternate CIA was created called the Safari Club. And the Safari Club was financed by overseas allies. It was outsourced to foreign banks. I have 2 banks and bank accounts that were used by the Safari Club and the individuals with checks paid out by them. Osama bin Laden was one of the recipients of funding from this alternate CIA that was subverting the oversight control of the successor to the Church Commission, and that is the Senate Intelligence Committee. 1 week before bin Laden was killed, I was called down to the Senate Intelligence Committee to give statements and evidence. And I have quite a few tape recordings and of senior members who were aware of bin Laden's house arrest in Iran for 10 years following Tora Bora. This was arranged by John Brennan. This is why Gary Bernstein was not allowed to kill Osama bin Laden in Tora Bora when he was only a few hundred yards away, because the plans had been made and set in stone by John Brennan to extradite bin Laden from Tora Bora to Iran, where he remained under house arrest for 10 years with more than 100 al-Qaeda leaders and their families.
So what you're saying is that there was no need for us to invade Afghanistan under the pretext of getting al-Qaeda if the U.S. government knew and was actually protecting his life in Iran. Is that correct?
Well, I have to say it was rogue elements of the U.S. government controlled by John Brennan, Richard Clark, Vice President Biden, quite a few people. There's a long list of people. They started with good intentions. The Safari Club was begun to fight the expansion of the USSR, but it turned into a very distorted operation over the years. And Osama bin Laden was the figurehead manifestation of this alternate CIA. And so they had to protect him in their bad judgment. And you see, one lie leads to another. Our parents always taught us this. And so when my team, we planned a program to go in and get bin Laden in Iran. We were going to catch him when he was falconry hunting, because I spent 20 years living with Arab political leaders, training their falcons and going out in these camps, hunting with them. And then I noticed there were terrorists coming into these camps, and the Royal Falconry camps are al-Qaeda's boardroom. This is where these bad guys come. There are no passport or border controls. And so we were going to go in and get bin Laden, but unfortunately, within minutes of ascending to the office of the CIA director, Leon Panetta's first act in office was to cancel the Rigor program, R-I-G-O-R, a covert CIA program to catch and kill Osama bin Laden in Iran. This was 6 months after Barack Obama was sworn in as president, and Leon Panetta threw a tantrum and canceled Rigor. This was reported by Goldman and Apuzzo, and slightly mischaracterized in the press as targeting al-Qaeda leaders all over the world, but it was focused only on Iran and bin Laden. And so when we were first ignored and then obstructed and then threatened by 8 CIA officials and warned off going into Iran to get bin Laden, we had passports, visas, everything was ready. The Revolutionary Guards were going to be our bodyguards while we were out doing bona fide scientific research as a cover for catching bin Laden alive for delivery to a tri-state area. When we were shut down by Leon Panetta and others, I began negotiating directly with Iran 6 scenario analyses for the transfer of bin Laden alive and well to coalition forces, and to have him put in a neutral zone. And Iran is on tape agreeing to this. It was all done. It took 3 years to develop this. I had meetings in the Iranian mission at the United Nations. Ambassador Mohammad Ghazai organized everything. Bakhsarai was the handler. There were several handlers. Everything was ready. And then I went to Governor Bill Richardson, New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, on December 2nd and 3rd of 2010. He agreed to be the U.S. envoy to receive bin Laden.
Yeah, those teachers are very commies. That's what they are mostly. A lot of them was Trantifa. It was down in D.C.
For a transfer to coalition custody. And it turned out that bin Laden had already been moved to Abbottabad, Pakistan in August of 2010. And so...
Why was he transferred there?
He was transferred there because in the 6 scenario analyses that I discussed with Iran, by harboring Osama bin Laden and 100 al-Qaeda leaders, this represents an act of war against the United States. Their nuclear facilities could be bombed and their economy obliterated. So the time moves backwards instead of forwards. And the Iranians didn't want to risk exposing their complicity with John Brennan and others to harbor. You see, John Brennan and Clinton and Biden outsourced the imprisonment of al-Qaeda leaders to Iran. We think of outsourcing as being a commercial activity. They outsourced our military responsibilities to an untrustworthy adversary, Iran. And they did that to save Iran from retaliation for harboring terrorists. And so Iran had no choice in their estimation but to accept the offer of Clinton in lieu of my offer, which was transferred to a neutral zone, because that would have endangered their economy and their nuclear program.
Well, Clinton actually knew about this, right? She knew that they were willing to just hand him over to us.
Tapes, registered letters, everything to Clinton.
So she knew that they were ready. Iran was ready to give us bin Laden with no real struggle. And
absolutely.
So she decided to have him move to Pakistan for a trophy kill.
They moved him to Abbottabad in August of 2010. And that's our first overhead viewings of bin Laden walking in the garden. Everybody said he was crippled, but he walked down 3 flights of stairs to walk in a garden to advertise his presence, okay? It was an advertisement. Then the gas line was put on the 3rd floor of the Abbottabad complex in August because his wives had to stay sequestered away from the other men. They had to cook in private without the purdah, veil. And other things. One of bin Laden's sons said his father was strangely resigned to dying in Abbottabad. So he was held there in a gilded cage, awaiting his trophy kill. He was moved from Mashhad, Iran, into Abbottabad airport, and then moved to this prison complex, the Abbottabad compound. It was not there to protect him. It was there to keep him there, awaiting his appointment with destiny. But the Iranians turned it into a fateful result because they pulled bin Laden out at the last minute, at the 11th hour, after an Iranian agent, a double agent, a Pakistan ISI officer who worked for Iran covertly, provided the DNA evidence to the CIA station chief. Finally, they were convinced it was bin Laden in Abbottabad. And they sent in SEAL Team 6. And Musharraf said he didn't know about the SEAL Team 6 coming in, but they had to let down the radar long enough for the helicopters to come in. And they only told Obama about the SEAL Team 6 kill mission after the radar was put back up and SEAL Team 6 could not go back into Afghanistan. It was then a one-way trip that could not be canceled. You see, we have a witness who witnessed Hillary and Panetta threatening Obama that if he didn't greenlight the bin Laden kill mission, they would expose him in the press and he would never survive politically. And he actually was reluctant to authorize the kill mission. That's why they pulled him off the golf course only after the mission could not be canceled. And so the agent provocateurs, the engineers of all of this were John Brennan, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden. And when they went in there, trusting the Iranians had bin Laden there waiting for them, SEAL Team 6, your son.
He was retired at that time. Actually.
Yes, but the SEAL Team 6, they killed Osama bin Laden's double.
How do we know that?
One of the wives went running towards them before he shot him and said, "Don't shoot, he's a double." I don't know the language she used. And then if you read Cy Hirsch's book, he explains that they threw the body parts over the Hindu Kush Mountains. They didn't even save them like they saved the sons of Saddam Hussein in a refrigerated tent, well preserved and with makeup, just to prove that the Wicked Witch was dead. They saved the sons of Saddam Hussein, but they did not save the corpse of Osama bin Laden because it was his double.
So the SEAL team, they knew that it was thrown out of the helicopter.
They learned that it was not bin Laden, and so they threw the body parts over the Hindu Kush Mountains. And John Brennan said that the people on the ship were told to keep quiet about the burial at sea, but they all say that they never were told to keep quiet because there was no burial at sea. John Brennan took the lead and made the fake media announcements. He lied to the press when he
I don't know. What's everyone think? Are you believing this guy or not believing it? So I don't know. It's food for thought.
Explain this Muslim burial at sea. It's actually haram. It's forbidden to bury a Muslim at sea unless the body.
I'm surprised you can hear me hitting the keys because sometimes they eat a little bit. I don't know if you can hear that.
Body's going to endanger the lives of
Hi,
the
Rebecca.
crew with disease risk. You know, you can't, because you see in the ocean, the feet, it'll rotate around and the feet will face Mecca. It's haram. You must bury on land with the face facing Mecca. So Brennan, who's a Muslim, you'd think he'd know not to lie about something so obvious. He said it was a Muslim burial at sea. Nonsense. And so this big lie that you see, Biden, Hillary, and Clinton worked this agreement with Iran. They trusted Iran to move bin Laden to Pakistan. He did. He was there. But then they trusted Iran to keep him there. They moved him out back to Iran. And then the communication from Iran to Obama was, hey, we got your neck in a noose. Give us all this money. $152 billion. $2 billion on an airplane pallet was paid out for the secrets I wish to reveal now and to the president under the terms of misprision and treason. That is to say, this is a secret. These are secrets worth $152 billion paid by President Obama. And Vice President Biden paid.
Some of it, the only thing that rings true to me is that why did they give him all those billions of dollars of cash and pallets of cash? That's what makes it sound plausible.
With the blood of SEAL Team 6 when he had them killed.
So it's blackmail and extortion then.
Blackmail and extortion.
Yeah,
Iran commandeered.
It's either that or he just wanted to fund Islam. That's what he was trying to do, one or the other.
You have the documents to prove
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So that means that SEAL Team 6 was shot down on purpose after the trophy killed to ensure that no dead man can tell no tales.
You were correct. So that President Obama paid bribery. Vice President Biden paid.
I know, I don't trust our government.
With the blood of SEAL Team 6.
The deep state for sure.
He spent their blood like currency.
We lived in Hawaii, and for about a month afterwards, I was in shock. And my wife and I, we went walking on the beach. And in the back of my vehicle, I have a bumper sticker about Ty. And this gentleman came up to me, and he was an Army Ranger that had been injured and he was recuperating in Hawaii. And he said, "How do you know Chief Petty Officer Woods?" And I says, "Well, I'm his dad." And he says, "Well, I worked with your son." And we became very close. And one of the things that he told me, he says, "I was on the Ranger team that was in that village where SEAL Team 6 was killed." The story was by the Biden-Obama administration that there was this team that was under attack in this village. We're going to die if you don't get someone here really quick. And so they loaded SEAL Team 6 on this slow, vintage Huey helicopter the size of a school bus and slowly got them to the village. Now, they did not request help. They've been in that village numerous times before. In fact, if someone came, it would actually endanger them. The story was not true. And then usually when a helicopter comes in, it goes zoom right down to the ground, opens up, all the troops go out in seconds, and then boom, the helicopter goes straight up. Well, this was a sitting target, okay, the size of a school bus. It hovered in the air over that village, just waiting to be shot down. And the people hot roped. I've never heard the word hot rope before. That means they each individually lowers down while it was a sitting target. And then apparently it was shot down by one of those weapons that Hillary Clinton illegally sent to Benghazi to give to a terrorist organization the U.S. government used to get rid of our ally who was fighting terrorism. That's Gaddafi. That weapon ended up over in Afghanistan.
They were Stinger missiles. Thousands upon thousands of them went missing. And Mark Turry was told that he had a small arms covert weapons program going. So that way none of that was ever given to someone, because they could shoot down jetliners just flying by if they wanted to. A child could do it, and a 12-year-old could do it. So these Stinger missiles went through Benghazi and then were given to the people who shot down SEAL Team 6. That was a setup. They were covering their tracks there. And then when they found the serial number on one of the missiles, it is traced back to the CIA from Qatar, from that weapons cache of Stinger missiles. That's why they had to then cover their tracks after people found out that the missiles were from Qatar, and then they could trace back where they came from Hillary through Benghazi. That's why Stevens was back there to recover those missiles and cover up the evidence. Well, that's at least what he was told. I assume that part of the plan for her was to eliminate everyone there at the Benghazi compound as well.
It's just so wicked. It's hard. It's just so unimaginably evil what these people do.
Dead men don't talk.
Let's just remember that heavy price has been paid for the secrets we are uncovering. And there are millions of people who want to see the truth. And we're going to deliver.
I had my mic muted. I forgot I was typing over on other platforms and stuff. So, and everything. Okay, everyone, it's past 7, so I'm going to let you all go. I'll catch up on your things here. This one was kind of food for thought. I kind of don't trust the government. That whole story with that thing, I didn't trust it, but now we have a little bit more on it. We'll see what's closer to the truth on that. All right, I should be back on 5 o'clock tomorrow. See you all then. Take care. God bless everyone. Bye-bye. Let me end this.